Hi everybody, this is Squishy Reads. I'm Sydney and today I'm going to do my Spring Into Reading-A-thon wrap-up. So for Spring Into Reading-A-thon, unfortunately I only got three books finished. I had, due to the current events, I had a lot going on and it kind of took away from, that's my cat. It kind of took away from me reading, and also Animal Crossing came out. So I played Animal Crossing a lot. It's currently the 31st of March, and last I checked I've put in close to 65 hours in Animal Crossing, over 60. I've put in over 60 hours in Animal Crossing. I've been playing it since it came out. So that's part of it. Part of it is also because I had a lot of personal stuff going on and I just couldn't focus on reading. But luckily most of the personal stuff's taken care of, and while I am currently unemployed like most people in America and the world, I am finding like more of a routine and making this more of a daily thing where I'm able to actually read and get things done, and things are just calming down for me until this is all over. So like I said, I only got 3 books completed. I completed, sorry I'm looking over here, I have my laptop. I completed the spring cleaning, read a book that has been collecting dust on your shelves. I completed Time for Vacay, which is read a book with traveler vacation in it. And I completed the Over the Rainbow, read a classic fairy tale or retelling challenges. So I completed 3 challenges, read 3 books. Realistically, pink and or yellow. If we count this as yellow, and also I think that one of my books has pink on the cover. If we count those, I might have completed more challenges, but we're only going to go with the 3 that I set for these books to be, and I'm not going to try to cross things. So, as you saw, the first book that I read was Naomi Novik's Spinning Silver. This was actually a carryover from the backlist readathon. I started, I think I got like 30 pages in, and I didn't finish it, mostly because this is whenever all the current events were starting up and I just couldn't focus, plus I was trying to work as much as I could before the work stopped. But I really like this. Naomi Novik does fairy tale type stories. I don't know if I'd call them retellings. They're just fairy tale type. It's like she makes her own fairy tales, and it's really awesome. This is about a merchant's daughter who says that she can turn silver into gold. So I guess it's kind of a variation on Rumpelstiltskin. But she says she can turn silver into gold, gets kidnapped, things ensue. I really like this. It told the story from a lot of different views, which normally doesn't work for me because it gets really cluttered. But it did it really well, and it didn't have them all go consistently. It'd be like every few chapters, hey, let's throw in a different view, let's throw in this other side to the story. And it'd be whenever that person's point of view would make the most sense. And I really liked it. It was massive. It was like 500 pages. It was 466 with really tiny text. It took me a while. This book took me, not counting the little bit that I tried to read in the backlist readathon, I think this took me 6 or 7 days to read. Now, I'm not going to keep it. If I want to read it again, I'll get it from the library. After all this is over, I'm probably going to sell it back to my used bookstore or donate it. But I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, and I really, really loved it. And I'm tempted to keep it. But I also reorganized my bookshelf through all of this, and I don't have room to keep anything. So I'm not keeping this. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I really liked it. Yeah, it's definitely one of my top books, and I liked it a lot. The second book that I read, I actually got through Libby. I got the ebook. It is Alice by Christina Henry. Oh, I forgot to mention, this, in case it wasn't obvious, was the Spring Into Cleaning challenge, because it's obviously part of the backlist readathon, so it's obviously been on my shelves for a minute. Granted, it's only been on my shelves for like 2 years, but still. So, the second book I read was for a classic fairy tale, a retelling, and that was Alice by Christina Henry. And Alice by Christina Henry is, in case you couldn't tell, it is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, which is done a lot, and it's done in kind of the American McGee style, where Alice tells the story of what happened to her in Wonderland and ends up in a mental hospital. And it also takes what a lot of Alice retellings do, and it makes the Mad Hatter into Alice's friend. Like, close friend. Like, they work very closely together, which is something that is very strong in most Alice in Wonderland retellings. And I really like that. I really enjoyed how they made Wonderland into something realistic-ish. Like magical realism. It's not just this fantastical world of Wonderland. And I'm really sorry if you guys could have heard my washer dryer going on the entire time. I'm trying to multitask, get up to snuff. Anyway, it took the fantastical elements of Wonderland and made them more realistic. So the characters who are animals might not necessarily be animals, but they're still terrible. And it's made everybody much more realistically terrible. It's made the issues in Alice in Wonderland much more realistic. This book has a very, very strong sense of violence against women, and how violence against women is wrong, and how violence in general is wrong, and standing up for the small guy, yada yada yada. And that would be okay if it didn't feel like everything in between the protect the little guy, protect the lady, everything in between, it just seems rushed. There wasn't a lot, the more I think about it, there wasn't a lot of exposition. And if I remember correctly, this is one of Christina Henry's first retellings. I could be wrong, but I think this is one of her first retellings that you can tell. I gave it 3 stars. I really liked it. I'm thinking about continuing on in the series. Yes, it's a series, but this one it's about the Jabberwocky and introducing all the characters, and it worked. But it didn't hold the same appeal for me that, like, say, Lost Boys did. And I don't even think I think I might have given Lost Boys 4 stars. But I really enjoyed it. I did. I finished this one quickly. But Christina Henry's books are always a quick read for me. I've read not only this, but also Lost Boys and The Mermaid. And I actually like The Mermaid. But yeah, I wish that there was more book, and that there was more just to it. It wasn't just like it seemed like she drew a timeline. It was like, these are the things that I want to reach in this book. And that's what she did. And she highlighted I want them to meet this character. I want them to meet this character, this character, this character. And then she just, like, did a little snippet in between each so that she could make all those points meet instead of creating a story. It was like a lot of little snippets. And sometimes the violence was too gratuitous. It was really violent. Sometimes very pointlessly so. Go from, like, oh yeah, they're going on this walk, to, oh, somebody just lost their head and there's blood everywhere. Great. I was not expecting that much gore. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I did enjoy it. Probably won't reread it unless I'm going to continue on the series. Then if it's a while, I might reread it because it was fairly quick. And the last book I just finished today, which is 2 days after the end of the Readathon, is I'm Traveling Alone. This was for Time for Vacay. Read a book with traveler vacation in it. This was kind of me reaching. It just has the word travel in it. It doesn't really have anything to do with traveler vacation at all. This is about Mia and Holger. Yep. I'm really sorry about pronunciations. But Mia and Holger, they are 2 detectives, and they are brought together again whenever a girl is found in a forest, hung in doll's clothes, seemingly unharmed, with a backpack, book bag, everything, and has a sign around her neck that says, "I'm traveling alone," from an airline. But a sign that says, "I'm traveling alone." And they are both violent crimes detectives. Holger is obviously the more captain mentality, and Mia is a forensic psychologist. Now, they never said forensic psychologist, but it was very obvious what she was. I really like this book. I don't know what it is about Swedish and Norwegian authors. They're awesome. Anybody from that section of the world is an awesome writer. Or maybe it's just their books that make it over here are awesome. Or maybe it's I've just got lucky. But this is by the Norwegian author Samuel Bjork. It was translated from Norwegian. And I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I can't really say a lot. The ending was not predictable, but it was realistic. It doesn't fall into the trope that a lot of authors fall into, where they make a murder mystery or a thriller or a suspense. And this is very much a mystery novel. But where they make one and they're like, oh, I have to have this unexplained twist that just catches everybody off guard. And it is so outrageous that it is no longer realistic. The ending to this was realistic, and the ending to this, I'm sure maybe like 0.01% of people will predict the ending, but I didn't. All the pieces were there, but I didn't predict it. That's what was awesome about this. The pacing was really good. I enjoyed the pacing. I feel like the only problem I had with this was I feel like there were too many views, which is a complete contradiction to this one. This one, I love that there were like 50 million views. This one, it wasn't necessary. Like, at one point, I mentioned this in my vlogs, there's the thing about a pig and a pig farmer, and he has a whole, like, 3 sentences. It's like, oh yeah, this happened, and oh, I forgot to mention this in my vlog. There's also a thing with a dog, like a dog owner. And he's like, oh yeah, I went and did this thing, and there were the cops out there. No, I have a dog, and that was it. And they were both like 3 to 5 pages, which is still a decent bit. This book, there's like 70 chapters, but they were 3 to 5 pages. They were tied together in the end, like we realized why they existed in the end, but they weren't necessary. They were not necessary to the plot. It's like she's going, oh, I like this idea. I have this idea for the character. I still want to bring it up in the end, but I need to feel some reason that this has to exist, and I was not a fan. They could have gotten rid of the dog bit, they could have gotten rid of the pig bit, and it would have been awesome. Those just took away from like the pacing of the story, which I loved, until you start talking about a dog and a pig. And I'm from the South. I hear a lot about dogs and pigs, or at least I used to. Not now. Not in a mystery book set in Norway. Not in a murder mystery book. But yeah, that was it. I read 3 books. Hold on, let's bring out the iPad. I read 3 books, and I would consider it a win. I had 1 3-star, 1 4-star, 1 5-star, but I enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed them different amounts. They took me different times to read, and I enjoyed them all. And everything except Spinning Silver was problematic. Spinning Silver was just great. It was long, but it was great. And yeah, I'm going to be catching up on a lot of things, and now that my life is starting to get more calm and able to like organize things better and have my life more in order, I should be posting more regularly. What you don't see from your view is that I am currently at my kitchen table and it is covered in books. Not necessarily for the April Readathon, but it's like manga that I want to read, stuff for Series of Unfortunate Events, some other books from the library that I now permanently have, indefinitely, until the library's open back up. I have library books I want to read. I have books from this Readathon that I didn't finish that I want to read. So, on top of like some self-education stuff and some free college classes that I'm taking, because this is going to take a while to get over, I'm going to try to post more regularly. So let me know down in the comments below, did you participate into the Spring Into Reading-A-thon? How did you do? Also, are you okay? Are you handling this well? Are you at least kind of enjoying social distancing? What are you reading? Yeah, just have conversations down below, because I'm sure that we're all lonely to a certain extent. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.